The comic book Castlevania: The Belmont Legacy was released by IDW Publishing in 2005. This series is an adaptation of the Game Boy video game Castlevania: The Adventure. The story focuses on the character Christopher Belmont, who is preparing for his wedding to Ilya. And as the comic gets underway, we learn that Christopher has been experiencing horrific nightmares, and he begins to suspect that these night terrors may be a warning that Count Dracula is about to return. And soon thereafter, Dracula reappears to torment the Belmont clan, and Christopher has to take up the mantle of his ancestors. And overall, this comic shows a darker, more demonic aspect of the vampire legend. And when you look at the world of Castlevania overall, you have this fascinating lore where the Belmont clan is in an eternal struggle with Count Dracula, who returns again and again to plague humanity, and these Belmont descendants have to arm themselves and become versed in the occult arts to meet this challenge. And so you have this lineage of vampire hunters who use the Holy Whip to defeat the forces of evil. And these ideal vampire hunters of the Belmont lineage are clearly based on the character of Abraham Van Helsing from the original Dracula novel. And if you look at Bram Stoker's 1897 novel, Abraham Van Helsing was a physician-philosopher who had a toolkit of crucifixes and stakes, so he could ward off vampires and cure people who had been placed in the undead state. And overall, it is interesting how the writers of Castlevania expanded on this idea of the vampire-fighting alchemist to create the characters who uphold the Belmont legacy.